Hey guys, happy fabulous Friday. Let's scooch that over there. I am so happy to bring a little card. It's a quick card today. I don't know why my Fridays cards have been super quick lately. I thought I turned the cards have been super. I obviously hadn't turned the volume off, but that's okay. You can just hear an echo of my voice. Why not? I am so glad to share a little easy card today. Just an easy card. I was inspired by the paper that we have, and I told you a little bit about it before in another video where I had this inspiration. That's where it came from. So don't forget that celebration is going on. So every time you spend $50, increments of $50, you get access to free items in our mini celebration brochure. I think it's handy. Let me grab it in a second. And that's about it. I don't really have any other announcements. Just, if you comment, I put you in for a drawing for the cards that I make. And that's about it. That's all I can think of. So let's just get started. I'm a few minutes behind. Sorry, I was setting something up. So, okay. There we go. Yep. Looks good. Everything's looking okay today. Yeah. Let me grab that celebration brochure. It's right here. So we have our new catalog, but this is the celebration brochure that I was mentioning. The celebration is where you earn, as you spend in $50 increments, you can get free items. And those items are in this brochure. And one of the items I'm going to show you here in a second, there's this carrot stamp set that's been really popular with people. I wasn't really drawn to it, but I don't make a ton of Easter cards, but it's been real popular. And look, it just thanks a bunch. That's not Easter. That's just thank you. I did buy this adorable owls. I need to make a card and show you guys that. This paper is what I'm going to feature today. I'm going to show that to you in a sec. Here's another, like a farm paper that's been really popular. It coordinates actually. So when you look at the items, it will tell you in the description what it coordinates with. This one coordinates with On the Farm Bundle, which includes all these animals and dies and stamps that coordinate with the farm paper. Then there's this one with a bunch of sentiments, sending support. So all kinds of supportive phrases. So that's a good one. This paper, I am not in love with this paper for myself personally, but I can see why people love it because it has this Victorian feel to it. And then the stamp set, there's a stamp set that coordinates with this. It's called, Fragrant Flowers. That's the coordination. And so this stamp set, look at these Victorian roses. I mean, they're really pretty Victorian. In my opinion, they're like Victorian looking. I think the colors and the style of this paper is very Victorian feeling, because it has that darkness to it. I have this stamp set. I need to share it with you guys. Someone gave it to me. And then this one, In the Country, which is kind of fun. This one, these show it where they color it, but I've actually seen other people use this In the Country where you just put a plain swash of color, almost like a brush of color behind it. And so that's kind of fun too. There's this paper here, which I didn't realize had so many different fun patterns. There's a couple really bright patterns that you really can't see in this small snippet. Because I was curious, someone had used one of these papers on a card, and I'm like, where is that paper from? I think it's this rainbow piece right here. And I really love that rainbow. But so this is perfect it's 48 sheets. It's a huge pack of 12 by 12. 48 sheets. That's a lot of paper. So if you want to make a bunch of Easter treats and stuff, this is the one to get. And you need to spend $100 to get that one because it's so much paper. I think this one was $100 too because there's so many stamps in it. When a stamp set has a lot of stamps, it tends to be $100. And here is the host. Oh, if you spend or sell $350 or more, then you get this scenic garden, which is also a fun, even though it's line drawings. of, you see it's line drawings of a garden. There are lots of ways it can be used. Like, I just think they did a lot of coloring here, but I've seen some others. I don't necessarily want to color all the lines, but there's some other good stuff with it. And then don't forget, if you join my team, if you become a fabulous stamper like myself, if you join my team, there's 3 options. The first 2 options are pretty much the same. The only difference is the color. For $129, you get this machine in white or blue, and you get $175 worth of products, plus a free paper pumpkin, plus free shipping, all for $129. So in total, when you add everything, it's about $261 in products, in free products that you're just getting. Not free, but in products, because you spent $129. So $261 for $129. That's pretty good. And it includes all the things you need to use the mini stamp, cut, and emboss. This blue one cannot be purchased. The only way to get it is if you join my team. And you can join my team at fabulousstamper.com and click join my team. We have a monthly meeting. We have a monthly meeting, and it's just fun, like a fun little craft together. And then there's another meeting that you can join as well, which is with Candy. She's my upline, and she does all kinds of fun stuff because she has a bigger team. But she does all these challenges and all these other different prizes and stuff you can get in for. And I just find it to be a really fun crafting community. And that's the goal, is making it not just a team, but like your own little crafting community. And I really, really love that. And so that is something to remember. It's only available until the end of February. Yeah, February 28th. Okay. So we'll get started. Let me show you the paper I've been talking about. So this is the paper we're going to use today. I showed it to you guys last week. This can only be, you can only get this if you do a $50 order. We're going to be using this sheet here, which is with the fresh freesia and the rich razzleberry. And the back side has this nice, this isn't Night of Navy. I think this might be Starry Sky. It might be Night of Navy. Might be Starry Sky. I love the wildflowers. I didn't realize how much I'd love the wildflowers. This is called Dainty Flowers. And this coordinates also with a stamp set that has these dainty flowers. It's called the Dainty something, or something dainty. I like this one too. I should do a card with this one. This one was perfect to use with those ovals. Oh, and look at this one. I hadn't even seen this one. I mean, I saw it, but not really. I kept focusing on the oval. This is a good one for, because if you use these ovals and something else, you could easily use this as like the front of your card, like as an accent. That's a good one. And these ferns. Oh, I like this fern one. I forgot about that one. And the back side of this one is a fresh freesia. That's on the fern. Oh, this one. That's right. I forgot about the artistic sides of these. This is a good one. I like this splatter. I like abstract art. I'm a really big fan of abstract art. So this Granny Apple Green has a white silhouette of the ferns, which is pretty fun. I think that's kind of a nice contrast. And it still has that watercolory effect in the background there. Yeah, I like this splattered watercolor effect. So those are the papers that are in this set and this package. And I love it. Love it. I love it. I love it. Mary Catherine Gallagher. She was so funny. I like it a lot. So we're going to be using that paper. We're going to be making a real simple card, but I was thinking about it today, like I'm not doing enough to show you guys all these techniques. And I kind of was feeling a little down on myself about it because I'm not showing enough, like, I don't know, techniques. But then I thought, showing a different color combination is also a different kind of skill. It's not traditional, but I can see the appeal to it. Many people look at this Wildlife Wonder and say it's just a masculine card. masculine stamp set. And I can see why, because I mean, it's obviously wild animals. But I don't always see things that way. I can just see a different color combination for this. And I've done a couple different cards using a navy bear and things like that. But I don't know if I've done any feminine looking other than when I did the brave one where she had a little crown on. but the card wasn't necessarily very feminine. But I saw this paper and I saw these wildflowers in the back, and it immediately made me think of this stamp. I love this one little stamp. I just think it's so cute. I just love this little wildflower. I'm not sure if these are bluebonnets or not, but I don't know. Whatever they are, I'm in love with and think they're so cute. And so I just thought this would be a good paper to pair with this stamp set. It's unusual, I know, and I know I'm not showing any crazy 3D projects, but I'm showing you what I'm good at. So that's what I'm going to focus on. And don't forget, if you want to order anything, my host code for January is this host code here. I'll put it down here. All right, so I went ahead and I need some scraps here. Yeah, I didn't even put any embellishments on it or anything. I just kept it simple. So I went ahead and I have a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of fresh freesia. Oh, there's something. And in order to try and get my card folded in half, you guys, I try and match the corners first, and I hold them real tight. I keep my finger pressed on the edge. And another trick is I will also put it in my cutter, and that helps me make sure that the scoring is a little bit better. Because if you keep your finger right up against the edge, it'll make it a little bit better. There we go. All right. And so all I did, oh, these are the extras. I'm like, why do I have so many? Because I cut one sheet of, this is rich razzleberry. And this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And this piece of the wildflower paper, of the Dainty Flower paper, is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I'm just going to make a layer. Just a layer. Oops. There's my host code. I was going to say it's not in the good spot. And so we're just going to make a little layer. It's a little unusual pairing, like I said, but of the stamps, but I don't know. I just love, sometimes I get ideas and just go with it. Hopefully you guys are entertained. My friend was telling me today, she's so sweet. My friend Jeanette was telling me, she said, no, I like that when your videos, you talk to us like we're your friends. And you just kind of get to work and tell us what you're doing. I don't know. I just appreciated the positive feedback, because sometimes I wonder, you know, are these videos good enough? Should I do more? You know? All right. So basic layers, just your standard layers. Then I wanted to show you a little bit with this bear. I've done a lot of stamping. This is my scrap paper. We're going to use this in a second. As you can see, here are 2 bears. This one here, as you can tell, is super blotchy. Look at how blotchy this one is compared to the bottom one. Here, I'll hold it up a little closer. If you look at his eyes, the faces, I think, are the key to showing how blotchy they are. You see, and look at the blotchiness even here, down here on his legs or her legs. A lot of the definition is lost. It's because my ink pad was a little too wet, just a little bit too wet. So I needed to take a little bit of the ink off because I had just re-inked it. And so I think that's why it was a little wet. What I did was I took a paper towel and I just pressed the paper towel on the top of my ink pad just lightly. And it picked up a full rectangle of ink. And you know, sometimes when you're stamping and it just keeps coming out blotchy, I mean, I did it several times and I kept getting a blotchiness. This one is a little bit blotchy, but then there was the spots missing. And so this one turned out okay. It was just but this one here is just too much. It would be fine in a pinch, but it's so blotchy. And this was the stamped off version of a different one. It just still, I wasn't feeling it. So this is a dark Blackberry Bliss, but I didn't want it to be black. You see how the Blackberry, it's almost like too dark. Using the Blackberry Bliss on this paper is a little too dark. It's just a little too dark. So having the, there we go, a little bit of light there. Having the, I stamped it off so I could get a lighter color. So that's what we're going to do here. That's for the inside of my card. I need a scrap. I thought I had another scrap. Oh, maybe that's why I had that one that was so black. Oh no, that one's fine. Let me just grab a scrap of cardstock here. Come on. Come on. It's like my fingers are too fat today. They will not participate. All right. So we're going to set this aside. We're going to grab my bear. And the other trick I found with my bear, my hand is a little too heavy. When I go on the top, I feel like I'm getting a little too much ink when I'm dropping it down. And so sometimes going the other way, because it's a large stamp, sometimes going just kiss the bunny is what Connie Stewart says. She's a famous, not famous, just a really top-notch Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Kiss the bunny, she says. You're just going to barely touch your stamp set to the ink. You don't need it to be super duper inked. And, oh, and I need it to be lighter. No, I did it wrong. Let me grab one more. There we go. I distracted myself. Okay. And so you see, like, there's still a lot of ink, like literally when I'm tapping my, when I'm stamping, it's, when I'm stamping, it's picking up the whole pad because there's so much ink. It's that wet. And so, you see, so it's pretty wet. And let me stamp off. I want to stamp off on my scrap. And then I want to stamp on my white. That's what I had done wrong before. There we go. That's the right color. I wanted it to be, it's a little dark in a couple spots, but it's still okay. Okay, so there's our bear. Here's another one. That one would, I think that one would have been okay. But see, this one has a little bit more definition around some of these little lines, which I like that definition. This one was a little too faded. So it's subtle, but it's there. Let me grab my snips. Now, these are my paper snips. Remember, you should always have a separate pair of scissors for your paper and for your ribbon. You should always have, I have several pairs of paper, pairs of scissors. I have pairs for cardstock, and I have a pair for cardboard, and a pair for paper, and I have just generic pairs. And so remember, you turn the paper, not your scissors. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hold on, this got a little out of hand. Whoop. Here we go. You don't have to go. Now, some people do cut right on the line. It's kind of hard to cut on the line on this because look at all that texture all over that bear. It's a little hard to cut right on the line with it. So, all right, so there's my snipped out little bear. And you know what I do with all these extra bears? I put them inside my stamp set for later. Because every so, like here's one that was super blotchy. This one wasn't so bad, but I didn't, you know, still it was kind of dark. And so, but you know, in a pinch, it might be exactly what I need. So I'm going to leave it. All right. So we've got our little bear. Oh no. There's a little bit of ink on there. Hold on. Let me see if it'll erase. I think I set the wet scrap paper on it. Okay, yeah, it picked it up. It just barely kissed the, it just kissed the top of of that. And so, okay, so we're just gonna put our little bear down here at the bottom. It's not a revolutionary design. It's a general design. But I think the color combo is nice. Jennifer loves a good, if any of my friends will tell you, any of my crafting friends, in that crafting community I keep telling you about, any of them will tell you, I love a crazy combo of colors. I am never shy of different colors and different combinations of designs, things that people wouldn't think of. Because it's just my style. I don't like to always make things. I could easily make a wildlife bear card with just, there we go, with just, you know, just dark masculine colors. But why? When I can make a nice, pretty purple one. My best friend loves purple. My other good friend, Marilyn, also loves purple. So it's funny. Both of them love purple. I don't think I've ever known anyone to love, like to have known two people that really love purple. Not just like a little bit of purple, like they love it. Which I thought was kind of funny to meet two people that were just like that. All right, so to get, what I'm gonna do, I was gonna stamp it off. So to get my little sentiment here, on my sentiment, I wanted to add a little flower. So what I did is I inked my little wildflower and I'm gonna stamp it right there in the side. And so it's a little lighter, but it's still there with a lot of texture, okay? I'm also gonna stamp my envelopes while I have the ink open, because that's my favorite. Let me go ahead and stamp the corners. And I'm not gonna do a lighter version on my envelopes. I'm just gonna stamp it full color because it's just on the envelope, so it's not that big a deal to make it lighter or darker. No one's gonna compare it. I love a stamped envelope. To me, it just makes it look more like real stationery. That's my opinion. I just think it looks like real stationery when you use stamp your envelopes. People know that it's a handmade card. Most people know, but so it was so cute today. So today I went to the pharmacy and I gave them some, and you know, I'm just going to throw this scrap piece of paper away. I actually doubled it because this paper is really thin. The paper that I have, look at how much it bled through. You see, that's how I know my ink was too rich. Look at how much it bled through, even just the white paper. That's a lot of bleeding. So that's how I knew this ink was just way too wet. Just a little too thick. All right, so now for my sentiment, I got this little label from the Picture This Dies. I'd made, oh gosh. Before I put that on something. Yeah, I got it. So the Picture This Dies, I had made a bunch of these white cutouts for a card, and I had done some others in a different card. So I saved the little cutouts that came out of it, and I've used them on different cards. It's my favorite. I feel like it's my favorite sentiment little label, you know. And I haven't used this stamp set enough. You guys have seen it. I'm sure it's called Charming Sentiments. And it actually comes with the die that will cut out the exact shape of the writing. And I haven't used this enough. And I decided, you know what, I need to use it because I've really only used this Faith Over Fear. That's my favorite one. And I think I used a thank you. Yeah, I used this thank you and I used the Faith Over Fear and nothing else. And so I'm not really sure why. I just, you know, just haven't really been motivated or something by, oh, I forgot to stamp the inside my card. I'll have to do that in a sec. So then for our sentiment, I'm using the Everything, Wishing You Everything Wonderful, which is a large sentiment, but it will fit on this label. That's why I love the photopolymer stamp, because you can really see where the exactly where you're stamping. It's a little tight squeeze, you know, to get this large sentiment on this label, but it fits. And having the photopolymer makes it so much easier to pair it. So there's my sentiment, got it on there, good. And this is old olive ink that I used. I'm gonna grab the Blackberry Bliss one more time because I want to stamp the inside of my card as well. I want to stamp the inside, and I'm going to stamp it off. Yeah. There we go. It's not a huge difference in the color because Blackberry Bliss is very dark, but it's still cute. I love a good stamped card. All right. Oh, that's the card that we made. I'm like, wait a minute. And so now I'm going to put this here. All right, there we go. That's our little inside. I don't know. I love that texture. Isn't that texture great? I love how it's such a detailed stamp. We called this a distinctive stamp when it has a lot of different textures on the rubber. And I love how the Wildlife Wonder stamp set does that. It has, and even when you look at the bear, you know, look at all the scratches. You see how there's like these scratch marks, and as if someone drew it on there, which is really cool. I just find that to be what's unique about some stamps. It just makes it really nice. I actually thought about using vanilla instead of white. I'm actually thinking I probably should have used vanilla instead of white against this. This is Fresh Freesia. The background of this paper is a very light version of this card, this color here. And so Fresh Freesia is this color on the outside. This background of this paper is a very light version of this. It's hard to tell, but when you put it up against another piece of purple, well, I guess you've got it there. If you've got it against this purple, you can see it's just got this hint of a purple in it. Just a hint. Or maybe if I put it against a different, here we go. You can see it better when it's against the green. You see how there's this little tint to the paper. It's a light tinted purple. Against the green, I think you can see it better. It's not white. It's technically like a light lavender type color. And then my sentiment, I didn't pop it up on dimensionals. I actually decided I was just going to glue it directly on the card front because I just thought it didn't need it. And I didn't even go get any embellishments or any other fancy pants things. I just stuck with the basic card. Let's make sure it's straight. Yeah. There we go. And just stuck it straight down. I love the stitching that comes around that sentiment. I just like that stitching that's on that label. It's so cute. I think that's why I keep using all those little cutouts that come out. So this one's a tiny bit darker. This bear came out a tiny bit darker, but still so good. So yeah, so there's our card and our envelopes. Perfect little piece of stationery to send. And I used Old Olive for the stamp here. I don't know why this one is so much darker. I guess it'll lighten as it. I think I used Old Olive. Did I use a different? Maybe I used a different green. No, it's Old Olive. I don't have a different green right there. So, that's weird. It looks so much darker. But yeah, so I used Old Olive, and that's it. That's our card for today. Nothing more. Just simple, basic little class today. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget that we used the Wildlife Wonder stamp for the bear. And the sentiment I used is right here. It's from the Charming Sentiments stamp set. Okay. So both of them. Oh, this was from $1 Million Achiever. Lisa Curcio. Yeah. Curcio. Yeah. I don't know who she is. Lisa Curcio. I thought it was someone else, but so she's $1 Million Achiever, and she wanted just sentiments with different fonts, and so that was what she chose. When you earn $1 million or more, when you different $1 million sales, when people earn their $1 million sales, they get to choose to create a stamp set with the designers at Stampin' Up, and they get to go to the company and take a tour, and it's really cool. And so that's pretty neat. And that's where this stamp set came from. And that's about all, guys. That's all I had to tell you. And oh, and don't forget the sentiment came from the Picture This die, which is these. I haven't used the circles one. I just keep using the square. I need to use the circles for something. I don't know why I haven't. It's just habit or something. I don't know. I need to think of something using that. Actually, I have an idea for that one. I was going to do a different card today, but I changed my mind. I wanted just to stick with simple. The other card I had in mind was just a little more complicated, and I didn't have the time to prep it for you guys. I didn't want to do all the prepping on the video. So thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate you, and I'm so grateful that you just check out my videos. Feel free to share and comment. I'm always grateful for any of that. And I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks so much. Bye.